Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Hunter Pratt. I'm the Multimedia Specialist at the Institute of Child Nutrition. Today, we're going to wait a few seconds and allow everyone to come into the webinar. It usually takes a few seconds for everyone to get into Zoom. So after a few seconds or so, I'll turn it over to Macy and we'll be able to get started. All right, everyone. Again, welcome to today's webinar. And Macy, I'm turning it over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Macy Fault with the Institute of Child Nutrition, and I would like to welcome you to the January 2020 School Nutrition Star webinar on supporting a heart-healthy lifestyle. During today's webinar, all attendees are muted. There will be time for questions following Dr. Peterson's presentation. If you have questions, please type it into the question box on your screen. We will try to get to as many questions as possible, but due to our time constraints, every question may not get answered during the webinar. Individuals who have registered will receive an email 24 hours after the conclusion of the webinar. That email contains a link to the recording and to the evaluation survey. Please complete that and certificates will be sent following. To assist in meeting the unique training, technical assistance, and professional development needs of school nutrition professionals, ICN has launched the School Nutrition STAR initiative. STAR stands for strategies, trainings, action plans, and resources. It was created to assist school nutrition professionals in developing goals and best practices to improve program administration and operations. The School Nutrition STAR program offers a multitude of elements that include face-to-face workshops, virtual instructor-led trainings, webinars, and we spotlight success stories. The Institute collaborated with USDA to host these monthly STAR webinars, which offer training, real-life strategies of program implementation, and best practices that you can incorporate into action plans or goals. Training topics, free resources, and educational materials are also highlighted to assist school nutrition professionals with navigating through the enhanced responsibilities of the school nutrition operations. The Institute has created a website for all these materials and resources specifically related to the webinars. You can find the information at theicn.org/STAR. Thank you for joining today's webinar on supporting a heart-healthy lifestyle. The USDA professional standards were established on March 2nd, 2015 and published for school nutrition professionals. The rule requires a minimum amount of annual training hours for all state directors and school nutrition programs, state directors of distributing agencies, managers, and staff. Required training topic areas will vary according to the position and job requirements. Today's webinar falls under the key area of nutrition and meets the USDA Professional Standards Code 1200 Nutrition Education. Our panelist today is myself and Dr. Christina Peterson. To tell you a little bit about me, I'm currently the Associate Director for Cooperative Agreements here at ICN. I received my master's from Mississippi State University in Health Education and Health Promotion. Upon graduating, I was accepted into the Public Health Prevention Specialist Fellowship Program with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Prior to joining ICN team, I worked as a nutrition and health area agent with Mississippi State University Extension Service, developing and providing nutrition and health education programs to Mississippi Delta residents. Dr. Christina Peterson is an assistant research professor in the Department of Nutritional Sciences at Penn State University. Christina has a PhD in nutrition from the University of South Australia and is accredited practicing dietitian. Her research is focused on the role of foods, nutrients, and dietary patterns in the prevention and treatment of cardiometabolic diseases. She is an active member of the American Heart Association, serving as a liaison to the Lifestyle and Cardiometabolic Health Council, and the Nutrition Committee. Christina is also a co-author of the Dietary Cholesterol and Cardiovascular Risk AHA Science Advisory. Our learning objective for today is to identify healthy lifestyle practices and resources to aid in heart disease prevention. Believe it or not, but the development of heart disease actually starts in childhood. The symptoms of heart disease typically don't show up until later in life. However, plaque can silently start building up in childhood and adolescence. Experts indicate that a child is born 500 times more likely to die of acquired atherosclerosis, which is a formation of plaque on the artery walls, than of congenital heart disease. Consequently, it is very important for kids to grow up with the understanding that they are responsible for their health. Fortunately, as parents and adults, we can have influence on children's behavior by encouraging healthy eating and regular aerobic exercise, as well as discouraging smoking. USDA's My Plate is a great reminder of the importance of healthy eating and how everything a child eats and drinks matters. My Plate shows children that the right mix of food choices can help them be healthier now and in the future. So what is meant specifically by the right mix of food choices? This means that they should focus on a variety of foods that are eaten, the amount of food that they consume, and the nutritional value of each of those items. They should choose foods and beverages with less saturated fat, less sodium, and less added sugars. If children are currently not making the right food choices, it's not too late. My Plate resources encourage them to start with small changes to build healthier eating lifestyles. It's also very important to be a role model. My Plate supports healthy eating for everyone, not just kids. USDA My Plate website has resources designed for children, students, adults, families, and professionals. It also provides resources in 21 different languages. Part of making healthy choices is to choose foods lower in saturated fat and cholesterol. Research indicates that a diet high in fat and cholesterol may contribute to the development of heart disease in adulthood. The Choose My Plate icon can help in efforts to eat a variety of foods while encouraging the right amount of calories and fat. It emphasizes the nutritional intake of food from 5 food group categories. Let's take a closer look and see what each of those categories are. Starting with grains. These include foods that are made from wheat, rice, oats, cornmeal, barley, and other cereal grains. It's recommended at least half of your grains are whole grains. These grains provide more nutrients like fiber than refined grains. Whole grains include whole wheat, brown rice, and oatmeal. To help identify whole grain products, look for words such as 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat on the food label. Another healthy eating choice is to include vegetables from all 5 of the vegetable subgroups. This means dark green vegetables, starchy vegetables, red and orange vegetables, beans and peas, and other vegetables. These vegetables can be raw or cooked, fresh, frozen, canned, dried, or dehydrated. They can be served as whole, cut up, or mashed. Choose a variety of vegetables and make half of your plate fruits and vegetables. We really want to focus on that color. Eating a variety or a healthy eating pattern includes fruits. Any fruit or even 100% fruit juice counts as part of the fruit food group. Fruits may be fresh, canned, they can be cut or pureed. They all count. You do want to choose options that have little or no sugar added, and it's best to focus on whole fruits instead of just fruit juices. The dairy food group includes milk, cheese, yogurt, and fortified soy products such as soy milk. They provide nutrients you need, including calcium, vitamin D, potassium, protein, and more. The 2015 to 2020 Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommends that we should be consuming a healthy eating pattern that includes fat-free and low-fat 1% dairy. To make the move, you can choose 1% or skim milk in place of 2% or whole milk varieties. Adults who choose low-fat or fat-free milk or yogurt show kids that dairy is an important part of the healthy lifestyle. When kids are choosing dairy too, their bones grow up to be strong, which is a huge benefit. The 2015-2020 Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommends consuming a healthy eating pattern which includes protein foods that are nutrient-dense forms. These foods include meat, poultry, seafood, beans and peas, eggs, processed soy products, nuts, and seeds. We want to eat a variety of protein foods. When we're choosing beef, we want to look at the lean cuts like round or sirloin or ground beef that is at least 92% lean. In addition, we want to trim off all the fat and drain the meat and remove the skin from poultry. This was just a brief overview of my plate and some of the healthy eating choices and recommendations. You can check out this link, the Choose My Plate website, where you can get more information and tools to help share these resources and provide positive nutrition messages. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Christina Peterson.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to present this webinar today about the resources that the American Heart Association has available that will hopefully be of interest to this audience. So since February is National Heart Month, it's a good time to review what resources the American Heart Association has available, and specifically the ones that may be applicable to school nutrition programs or education of children or parents. So the focus of today's presentation will be on the resources that the American Heart Association has available, because they do have a lot of resources related to this area. And just as a brief introduction to the American Heart Association, they're an organization that has a goal of promoting a longer health life reducing heart disease. And this is really of public health relevance because the leading cause of death and disability both in the United States and worldwide is heart disease. So to begin with, I want to start with a polling question to see how many of you have ever used a resource from the American Heart Association. So the question is, have you ever used a resource from the American Heart Association website? Sometimes, or never, sometimes, often, or I didn't know about AHA resources. And so you'll have a minute to answer this question. Okay, so we've got a pretty even mix here. It looks like the majority, or almost half of you, sometimes use the resources. Almost a third have never used the resources, and about 20% didn't know about the resources. So hopefully the presentation today is of use to you. Okay, so just as an overview of what I'm going to present today, so over about the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to take you on a whirlwind tour of what's available on the AHA website, with a focus on the specific resources that relate to school nutrition programs, children's health, and promotion of healthy eating. As we go through, I will point out some specific resources that may be helpful. And throughout this presentation, I've included a number of URLs and links, and those will be available for you after the presentation. So to start out with, in terms of a broad overview of what AHA has to offer, you can see in the figure at the bottom of this slide how the website is organized, which should also give you an idea of what the scope of AHA is. In terms of the resources that will be of particular relevance, so AHA has a number of free resources related to the prevention of heart disease, with many related to school nutrition programs, children's health, and the promotion of healthy eating in children. So on the AHA website, you will find a lot of general information about healthy eating, so including specific information that is tailored to children. There is also a whole section that's dedicated to fact sheets, and within this there's a section related to healthy schools and childhood obesity, and I'll show you some of these in a moment. There are also fact sheets related to access to healthy foods and physical activity, so it's worth checking this section of the website out for more than just the healthy schools and childhood obesity section. And then finally, there's a whole section specific for educators. So this includes information about the many school programs and initiatives that the American Heart Association has for schools and children's. So the Kids Healthy Heart Challenge and the American Heart Challenge are programs specifically tailored to school-aged children, and I'll discuss those more as we go through. So these are some of the resources that I think will be of most use to you all here today, but there is much more on the AHA website as well, so I would encourage you to go and explore a little bit for some other things. So in terms of the healthy eating information that's available, this is really a one-stop shop for everything diet and heart disease related. So you'll find information about what's recommended as part of a heart healthy diet. They have lots of tips and strategies for following a heart healthy diet. So ideas for menu planning, recipes, shopping for healthy foods. And as you can see on the right, there's some examples of the general information available. So there's a fact sheet about getting kids to help in the kitchen. And then there's one about dietary recommendations for healthy children. And so there's also some great materials like infographics and information sheets that can be used in school education programs, so in the classroom. Many of these could also be put up on notice boards within schools or classrooms, or sent home to parents. And there are also some videos as well, which include tips for heart healthy cooking and different short clips of information that may be helpful. So in terms of some specific healthy eating resources that I think may be of interest, so there's the Fruit and Veggie Toolkit for Kids. So this has a lot of information that is specifically tailored for kids and also parents about how to eat fruits and vegetables, what the recommendations are. But it also has some information about the seasonality of different fruits and vegetables, healthy preparation methods, and also how to deal with picky eaters or children that won't eat fruits and vegetables. And then there's some activities as well for kids to try and get them engaged. Then there's also the Fruit and Vegetable Guide. So this does include a lot of the same information, but it's pitched a little bit differently, more to adults. And then finally, there's the Simple Cooking with Heart for Kids Toolkit. So this is really about getting kids involved in cooking. And so here they have some specific guidance for when you're teaching kids to cook in the school environment. So they have details about planning and classroom setup, recipes that may be appropriate for that kind of a setting, and then some discussion points that you can talk about with the children as you're going through the program. And then there's also some take-home resources that you can share with parents. So in terms of some of the different infographics that AHA has available, this is an example of a sodium one. And so as you can see here, it's really targeted to children. So the information is age appropriate to elementary age children. And AHA also has a number of other infographics that may be used. And this is really an example that you could use in a classroom, or maybe you could send it home to use for parents as well. They also have this other one about added sugars. So this provides information about where natural sugars are, where added sugars are, and then what is recommended in terms of how much sugar children should be consuming. And then also how to read food labels and find out how much sugar is in foods. And then also tips about how to reduce sugar intake and different suggestions for replacing foods which are high in sugars. And again, this may be useful for kids, but also parents. So moving into the fact sheet part of the website. So as I said before, this includes a whole section which is focused on healthy schools and childhood obesity. So these are materials that the AHA prepares based on the various scientific statements and guidelines that are developed and released by the AHA. So I find these are a particularly concise summary of sometimes a complex issue, but they break it down. They provide the key background information, some possible strategies or changes that are needed. And as you can see here, many of these are applicable to the school environment. So you can see there's information about lowering sodium, obesity prevention, teaching children about a healthy lifestyle, and then there's one about healthy school meals. So just as an example, here's the sodium one. So as you can see, it has the recommended maximum sodium intake for school-age children at the top, but then it also has modifications that can be made to school lunches to lower sodium intake. And then at the bottom, it has tips from school food service directors about changes that can be made to reduce the amount of sodium within school lunches. So you can see things like using no added salt, diced tomatoes, using herbs and spices instead of margarine or salt, and then giving kids carrot sticks instead of pickles. And then you can see the amount of sodium that's saved here as well. So then moving into the educator part of the website. So here are materials that are specifically tailored for schools. And you can see here that they have age appropriate programs for elementary aged kids, middle school, and then also high school. So really the goals of these programs are to educate kids about healthy living. And they do this in an age-appropriate way, and they include different activities to engage the kids and try and make the education program fun, but also so the kids learn about a healthy lifestyle for the prevention of heart disease. And I have here an infographic which describes what's involved in the Kids Heart Challenge. So this is the program that's specifically tailored to elementary school kids. As you can see, physical activity is heavily promoted. So many of you will probably remember doing Jump Rope for Heart as a kid. So this is the evolution of that program. And so there's also a curriculum which includes lesson plans and then many other things as well to get children involved in healthy living. This website also has a section that's dedicated to students, and then a separate section for teachers, and then another section for parents, and each has appropriately tailored materials. And then there's also some videos as well on the website that provide information from schools that have participated in these programs, just to give you an idea of what's involved. So another initiative from AHA is the NFL Play 60. So this is in partnership with the NFL. And so the goal of this program is to get kids physically active and to improve their overall health. So this includes an in-school curriculum that helps teach educators and students the importance of 60 minutes of physical activity a day. And it provides examples to teachers, students, and parents on how to incorporate physical activity breaks into their daily life. And so while the goal of this program is physical activity, the curriculum does include many other topics. So for example, there's a class about the circulatory system that gives children an understanding of why physical activity is important from a biological perspective. And then there's another one about healthy lifestyle habits. And many of these lesson plans fit into physical education in terms of the national learning standards, but also science and math. So all of that is available on the website. And then in terms of another initiative AHA has, this one is in partnership with Nemours, and it's called Healthy Way to Grow. So this is a national science-based early childhood technical assistance program to help improve practices and policies for obesity prevention. And so really the goal of Healthy Way to Go is to improve childhood programs. So these typically serve children from birth through to age 5. And the goal is to improve and sustain nutrition, physical activity, screen time, infant feeding, sleeping habits, staff wellness, and family engagement. And Healthy Way to Go provides support to participating centres through subject matter and guides policy changes in different centres to promote the Healthy Way to Go components. And so if you're interested or considering this program for your facility, there is more information on the website, or you can sign up to get more information. And so then in closing, just to give you more of an overview of the kind of work that the American Heart Association does, I wanted to share with you this infographic which was circulated at the end of 2019, which really highlights the different activities that AHA does to promote heart health. And as you can see here, one of the highlights is about kids and school lunches. So more than 30 million kids eat school lunches and more than 15 million eat breakfast as a result of collaboration with USDA and others. So I think this is impressive, in addition to obviously substantial reductions in cardiovascular disease in terms of mortality and also stroke. And so with that, I'm gonna thank you for your attention today, and I hope that you all have a happy American Heart Month in February and can do some activities within your programs to promote heart health. And then with that, I would be happy to take any questions. Okay, so there is a question about the fruit and veggie toolkit for kids, if it's available in paper copy or only downloadable. You can download it online and then print it out. I'm unsure if you can order these from the American Heart Association. There are also questions about whether the fact sheets are available in languages other than English. I think some of the materials may be available in Spanish, but I'm not 100% sure, so you will have to check online. Okay, so I think the questions have ended, so I think I'll turn it back to Macy.
Thank you, Christina. For each STAR webinar, we always try to highlight some of ICN's new resources that are being released. We just recently released a face-to-face training called Food Allergies for School Nutrition Managers and Staff. This is a face-to-face training. We also have Essential Key Performance Indicators for School Nutrition Success. Some of our online courses that we just released are the past 12 months of the STAR webinars that we have hosted. And then we are fortunate enough to have Dr. LaWanda Morris with us, and she is going to talk about the new resources that we have for the Basic Culinary Math series. Dr. Morris is the Associate Director for Grants here at the Institute with her PhD in Curriculum Development. Dr. Morris?
Thank you, Macy. It's a privilege to be able to join you all and tell you about this great resource that we've recently released in the e-learning format. The face-to-face training for the basic culinary math was actually released about probably 4 or 5 years ago. And we just today launched the last 2 of the online courses to make it a complete series online. The basic culinary math series allows school nutrition professionals to review all of the basic math skills. It does provide real life application-based practice opportunities, as well as just basic math problems. Some of the applications that are covered include preparing and ordering food, determining the correct serving portion size, using the correct measurement or weighing tools, using and changing the yield of standardized recipes, as well as determining the food cost of recipes. The course that is online is actually broken up into 7 different courses. You have basic review of just basic skills with whole numbers, so that'll cover addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with whole numbers. Then you have culinary applications with decimals, so again, all of the basic review of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with decimals. And then everyone's favorite math skill is working with fractions. So again, we'll cover basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, as well as going into the culinary applications using fractions. The 4 remaining courses that are available in this series then are scaling a recipe. We teach you how to use a scaling factor to either scale a recipe up or down, because we know that a lot of standardized recipes don't come in numbers that most child nutrition professionals actually cook in. Then we have measurements, helping you learn and review how to make good, efficient, standard measurements and the appropriate tools to use. Another course is called Conversions. Going to review the skills for how to make conversions as you are scaling a recipe. And then finally, last but not least, we have Calculating Food Costs. This is a course that would probably be a higher level course. I would probably encourage you to do the basic reviews first of the whole numbers, decimals, and fractions before you move into those last 4 courses, but they all can be taken at your own pace, just like any of our other e-learning courses. So we are very excited that entire series is available, and we hope that you all will get a chance to check those out. Thank you for letting me share, Macy.
Thanks, Tawanda. We've had a question that came in for a little bit more detail on the food allergies for school nutrition for managers and staff, face-to-face training, as well as the essential key performance indicators training. So I'm going to take a few more minutes and give you a little bit more information about those 2 training options. The food allergies for school nutrition managers and staff. It's an in-depth training on managing food allergies in school nutrition programs. Directors and food allergy management personnel who take this course will be able to create an outline of food allergy management plan or have an opportunity to strengthen their existing plan. This course includes information about food allergies, food intolerances, reading food labels, avoiding cross-contact, how to accommodate students with food allergies, the laws and regulations regarding food allergies, and educating the school community about about food allergies. The essential key performance indicators for school nutrition success, it focuses mostly on the critical aspects of the school nutrition program performance and provides a straightforward, easy to use reference for identifying and applying these aspects to help achieve success. The key performance indicators allow the user to set up standards of expectation, identify problem areas, and measure progress in correcting the problems. We have one other question about how to access the STAR webinar series that was just recently launched. So these can be found in our e-learning portal for those of you who have not been able to attend the live webinars. Each webinar is recorded and can be accessed to watch at your convenience. To access them, all you have to do is go to the webinars in the catalog category box and search for what's available. As I said earlier, the last 12 webinars that we have recorded are available to watch. And yes, you do receive a certificate upon completion the recorded webinars. And you will receive a certificate for watching today's webinar as well. Each month, the newest webinar will be added to the course catalog and the oldest one will roll off. So we will plan to keep 12 on there as our course offerings. We're really excited to offer our users yet another way to receive their professional development. And if you're interested in bringing any of these trainings to your district, all you have to do is reach out through the ICN website or call our help desk, and we'll be happy to listen to your request and see how we can best get it fulfilled. Just a final reminder that today's webinar has been recorded and you are able to view it through the ICN website, which is the icn.org/star. At the end of the webinar, you will receive an email link and that will take you to access the survey and your certificate. We want to thank Dr. Christina Peterson once again for her presentation today. And this concludes today's webinar. We hope you have a great day.